It's Friday, time for another weekly update. Let's start with some much needed good news. Read City USA has surpassed 402,000 hours on our journey to accumulate 500,000 hours and read around the world 20 times in 2020. That's already 80% of the way to our goal, with nearly half the year left. But it's no time to take our foot off the gas. Please help us by going to readcityusa.com, download the Beanstack Tracker app on your smartphone, and log your reading hours. Every minute helps, so start today. This Monday, I released the proposed fiscal year 2021 Knox County government budget. It's not pretty at all. Just like virtually every other organization, the COVID-19 pandemic has been a tremendous shock to county finances, and we expect that to continue for the foreseeable future. This budget is a working document. We expect to be back before County Commission to adjust and make amendments to it as needed. Our goal with this budget is to ensure that we are providing the services that Knox Countians need, along with some of the amenities that we're used to, without raising property taxes. Speaking of COVID-19, we all need to remember that the pandemic has not ended, and we still need to follow the health department's guidelines to minimize its impact. We have recently seen an uptick in the number of cases, but thankfully our hospitalizations and deaths have remained low and steady. I believe a lot of that is due to the work of our health department, our healthcare system, and our long-term care facilities, all of whom have done a tremendous job protecting our vulnerable populations. Big thanks to all of them for averting what has proved disastrous in other areas around the country. Finally, I'd like to offer my thoughts on the horrific death of George Floyd and the riots that are engulfing our nation. First of all, no one should ever needlessly die at the hands of the police. No one. Yes, there are some bad people who happen to be police officers. But from my personal experience, I find police officers overwhelmingly to be good people who care very deeply about their community and want it to be a great, safe place to live. I have long believed that we need meaningful, sensible reforms to the criminal justice system that will protect both our citizens and our police. For instance, I'm proud that our Knox County Sheriff's Office mandates their patrol officers wear body cameras. This protects the public by providing more transparency and enhancing accountability for our officers, but it also protects our officers by recording evidence against unfounded accusations of wrongdoing. As someone who believes that the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land, I strongly believe that individuals have the right to protest and petition the government to redress their grievances. I also believe that government needs to listen and take action to rectify injustice. And I also believe that one of the primary functions of government is the protection of property. So I strongly condemn rioting and looting. But here's the interesting thing. The people who are exercising their constitutionally protected right to protest are not the same people who are committing crimes. As government, we must both protect people's First Amendment rights as well as protect the lives, property, and liberty of everyone in our community. As a nation, we must have the difficult conversations about race and other factors which divide us. It's time to stop repeating this cycle. A tragedy happens. There's outrage. Things settle down and we forget about it without reaching any kind of resolution or even making any progress. And we become even more divided, frustrated, and angry. And finally, there's an explosion. It doesn't have to be this way. When we see each other as human beings first, when we see that we all really want the same things, we realize that we share more in common than we do differences. Throughout my athletic career and then in my WWE career, I met and became friends with individuals from diverse backgrounds, from all over the world. I didn't care what they looked like, what their culture was, or anything else. I cared that they had my back and they cared that I had theirs. We shared something in common, and that brought us together. As a society, that's where we need to start. How about we listen instead of yell? Why can't we talk instead of argue? And why can't we remember that we are all human beings first and foremost? This week, Vol Nation lost one of its greats. Johnny Majors was an outstanding football player at UT and then won 3 SEC championships as the Vols head coach. Coach, you will be missed. Until next Friday, I hope everyone has a great week.